Good evening, Chef Chaudhary from Dhaka, and we have this evening Mr. Jitendra Kumar Ojha, a former Secretariat and a very important person who has been playing important, crucial role in the Indian foreign affairs and also India's policies uh, in ensuring the rights of religious minorities. Mr. Ojha, namaskar. First of all, I'd like to ask you that we are seeing that Pakistani government is patronizing terrorist activities in Jammu and Kashmir. Do you think this kind of the patronization can have a bigger impact in India as well in Bangladesh?
Look, Pakistan always had a very criminalized deep state, and not only in Jammu and Kashmir. They have been patronizing all kinds of terrorists and organized criminals nearly in this entire region and beyond. No other state has this kind of interlinkages and such a direct association with these terrorist groups, and they pose a threat to everyone. I would say that they pose a threat not only to people of India in Jammu and Kashmir or people of India everywhere else, because we all know how they were involved in Mumbai terror attacks to various terrorist activities. They have also been involved in terrorist activities in Bangladesh. All major Bangladeshi terrorist groups have been patronized by Pakistani deep state only. And this policy of theirs has brought misery for people of Pakistan, and they are real merchants of misfortune, violence, and death, you can say.
Mr. Ojha, Pakistan, we fought a war of independence against Pakistan.
Absolutely.
India was our ally in our war, and just within a couple of weeks, we are going to celebrate the 52nd anniversary of our independence against Pakistan. So, do you think that Pakistan is on purpose deteriorating and, in other words, sabotaging the law and order and how to say security in India as well Bangladesh?
Well, India, we are a much strong nation. We are a much bigger nation, but still, these organized criminals who work deceptively, they have been somehow, how Dawood Ibrahim migrated from India, and he was a pure mercenary criminal, and now he became a strategic asset of Pakistani deep state. But with Bangladesh, what they are trying to do and which they have done, we all know who in Bangladesh are patronized by Pakistanis, because there was absolutely no way that a Bengali inside Bangladesh should be butchering and slaughtering his own people. Of course, they targeted Hindus, but they targeted secular liberal Muslims as well. So for Pakistan, Bangladesh is always a kind of, you can say, a market for recruitment, a market from where they can recruit people, and they can peddle, a lot of anti-India activities through Bangladesh. They do not have good of Bangladesh people at their heart, isn't it? They have always resented cultural and civilizational superiority of Bengalis over Punjabis. So that kind of inferiority complex they had. You would remember that even so-called democratic leader like Bhutto had once said, after Bangabandhu's party secured majority in undivided Pakistan, he said, a fish-eating, stinking Bengali would sit next to me. It's better that the country is partitioned. So that time, of course, the military was in power, but still as a parliamentarian, these were his words. So do not take mistake that for a moment Pakistanis, simply because they are Muslims, so they will be friends of Bangladesh. Not at all. They are most deceptive kind of people, most opportunist kind of people. They can be friends of no one. I will also quote, Gul, what was the name? Hamid Gul, who's very often referred as, father of jihad in AFPAC region. He said, that when they invited Americans in Afghanistan, they said that first they will defeat Russians with the help of America, and then they will defeat Americans with the help of Americans. And when Americans withdrew from Afghanistan, this is what they said. And now you see they're also trying to cozy up with Russia because they have a requirement. So be absolutely clear that Pakistanis can never ever be friends of Bengalis or people of Bangladesh. And those people who are trying to bring law and order problem in Bangladesh, who are trying to destroy peace and security, which has been ushered in by your great leader. My generation of Indians, we have always admired your Netri, Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, Sheikh Hasina. She is highly respected in India, at least in Indian intelligentsia, as someone who has brought, rather pushed Bangladesh towards modernity and towards development. So be very careful when you gesture of theirs to befriend Bangladesh.
Dr. Mr. Ojha, Pakistanis have killed Bengalis. They have raped thousands of Bengalis, including the Hindus. So, I don't find any reason why Bangladesh should have a diplomatic relations with a country like Pakistan, which has shown extreme brutalities with our people. But anyway, we have kind of diplomatic relations with a rogue state, a failed state like Pakistan, which is a patron of terrorism, which has been playing a notorious role in destabilizing the situation in Jammu and Kashmir and other parts of India. Under this situation, under the circumstances, being a very important figure in the Indian government, don't you think that we, the people of Bangladesh, and you, the people of India, should unitedly confront Pakistan's conspiracy and its agenda of spreading the seeds of terrorism in South Asia?
Now, first of all, I am no longer working with the government. I have retired from government 5 years back.
Being formal.
I have been, yes. আমি বাংলায় কথা বলতে পারি, যদি বাংলা বললে ভালো হবে, আমি বাংলায় কথা বলতে পারি।
No problem.
I'll better speak in English.
Yeah.
What you're saying
because if we speak in Bangla, that major segment of our readers and our viewers may not understand.
Okay, perfectly. I will speak in English only. What I'm trying to say that Pakistan, we have, isn't it? Pakistan largely consists of Hindu converts only. They were opportunists at the first. Of course, most of the people in this subcontinent or even people in Mongolia, they all are converts from Sanatan only. Genghis Khan was also, you can say, in some way a Sanatani or a Hindu only, idol worshipper only, whatever you can say. So all are converts beyond a point. But most of these Pakistani Punjabis, they converted to Islam for sake of their own advantage. You wouldn't believe that original Arab Muslims who came to India, they started respecting these traditions. They said, Holy Prophet of Islam, peace be upon him, he brought in a lot of modernity in the context of Arab. But India was far this subcontinent. So what these opportunist people who initially tried to fulfill British agenda, when colonial Britain was receding from this country, you have heard dacoits when they loot a country or a region, after that they put it on fire. So same like bandits who were decamping with a lot of loot of India, they ignited something like Pakistan. This kind of radicalism that, okay, Hindus and Muslims, they must fight amongst themselves. And some people fell for it. They were genuinely opportunists of the highest order. Because look, you are born in a Muslim family, you are a Muslim. I have known so many Bengali Hindus who are so proud of Bangladesh, and there are so many Indian Muslims who are very proud of India. And we have no ill feeling. So in case of this thing, your neighbor, your friends, your others will only come to you. And this artificial divide was terrible. So this opportunist lot, under the instigation of British, they did something. And let me tell you, a few days back, I was quoting a letter from Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and he himself was saying what about these so-called educated Muslims? He was saying that this is the most opportunist, selfish class, debauched to the core. It only thinks of itself. You wouldn't believe that till date in Pakistan, no land reform movement has taken place. A small number of people are, controlling fortunes. So for sake of their own benefit, they started this game of terrorism. And mind it, terrorism is a very profitable industry. Because in the name of terrorism, you can peddle drug, you can peddle fake currency of any country, you can carry out extortion, you can carry out money laundering. All shades of organized crime is part of terrorism, which is patronized by Pakistan. You see, the way Pakistani generals have enriched themselves. Pakistan may be a very poor country. And for them, what is Bangladesh? Life of Bangladeshis does not matter at that point of time or even now. Some of these Pakistani proxies who engineered bomb blasts in Bangladesh, killing so many civilians, did they have interest of people of Bangladesh in their heart? No, not at all. So we have to fight them, but this fight is not going to be that easy. What they are doing, they are brainwashing people, this business of 72 virgins waiting for you when you arrive in paradise. This is utter nonsense. Nobody believes it. No, but this is a very good way to recruit people. Let me also tell you, for benefit of people of this region, there was a very major cattle thief gang in Latin America, South America. And when they were stealing cattle, so they were not able to motivate thieves and bandits to steal this cattle. So they brought out this theory that they are stealing cattle in the name of God. And people thought this is a very religious kind of duty, and they started doing this business. And till date, from cattle theft, they have migrated to drug trading and etc. etc. So organized criminals have always used religion to hoodwink masses. And this is what a small number of government of Bangladesh. They are highly humanized, human-centered government. They are people-centered government. They are committed to development and well-being of their people. And for that reason, I feel that, those who are supporting Pakistan, let me tell you, Pakistan may not be on its own. Various extra-regional powers have supported Pakistani clique, this criminalized clique, for their own interests, for their own agenda, to keep entire South Asia bogged down. I'll tell you, Shoaib, one more thing, that this South Asian region, we account for 3.5% of entire landmass on this planet and 25% of population. But still, this is a miracle that even in such a small land, you see, this land is so fertile, Matribhumi, we call it. It is still supporting. Pakistan has the most fertile part of this subcontinent. And this criminalized lot of Pakistani army, they have destroyed that land, and people are killing each other for atta and chini, and they're not able to get 2 square meals. So this is the Islamic rule they have brought in Pakistan, which has destroyed most fertile land. And Bangladesh, with heavy population and everything, is doing so well. So what I'm trying to say, we have our big challenge. Big challenge is to fulfill, basic needs of people, empower them. And to that extent, I feel Pakistani rogue state is holding this region back. They are responsible for our pathetic performance on HDI parameters, because a lot of our energy is going west in tackling insurgency, radicalism, and this religious fanaticism, which they have been propping up almost everywhere through their selected proxies. So you are absolutely right. We have to carry out innovation and see that this Pakistani rogue syndicate looks like there's a technical glitch. I conclude.
Now, I want to come with a different question, that that since 2009, a secular government is in power in Bangladesh under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. While both of us know that Pakistan has been consistently attempting to destabilize the situation, the peace and prosperity of India and Bangladesh, we are seeing that the Biden administration in Washington, they are also trying to help the Islamists to return to power in Bangladesh. And they don't want to consider what Sheikh Hasina has contributed in. I mean, Sheikh Hasina has fought terrorism, jihadism. She has dismantled the anti-India separatist activities. They were using Bangladesh soil. I mean, all of these has been dismantled. And it's an era that Bangladesh and India deepen, strengthen their relations and cooperation, because I want to remind that the concept of Pakistan was a brainchild of whoever, but it was a country created on the base of a religion. I mean, Pakistan was created as a Muslim country, and we Bengalis have never been Muslims. We are Bengalis, and Bengalis are saint. We are secular by nature, moderate by nature. And our leader, Sheikh Hasina, has
Yeah.
ensured that Bangladesh prospers, and Bangladesh ensures growing relations with our friendly neighbor, which is India. So in 2024, we are going to have a general election in Bangladesh. And if you are aware that Islamists are trying to come to power with the help of the Western government, I have written a couple of articles in OP India and other newspapers. So don't you think it's a challenge that we must confront in unison, that the patriotic forces in India and the patriotic forces in Bangladesh, for the sake of our regional security and the Bangladesh prosperity, don't you think that we have to confront this international conspiracy against this region?
I 100% agree with you. We are very sure that there's a very strong relationship between government of India and government of Bangladesh. That relationship is already there. They are very close to each other. They have always been close to each other, irrespective of who's in power in Delhi. In Dhaka, it has been different. Dhaka, Sheikh Hasina ji is the only leader, bravest leader, I would say. I don't know whether I said it earlier or not. In this subcontinent, she is, those who know about Bangladesh, they deeply admire her. She is probably the bravest leader right now anywhere in the world. This is what I would say, because she has fought personal tragedies. Despite facing personal tragedies, she has been very generous and magnanimous to all people across all divides. So this is very rare. People of Bangladesh must feel very privileged that they have somebody like her at the helm, daughter of Bangabandhu. She has imbibed all the qualities which Bangabandhu personified. So that issue is clear. What happens with the West? You have to understand the dynamics. Pakistanis, as I said, they have built a worldwide network. Look, Pakistan should have been blacklisted by FATF 20 years back. It did not.
Here I would,
Americans took.
Mr.
Just
Ojha,
let me complete.
I'd like to interrupt
Just
here.
let me complete.
Where Pakistan not only should be blacklisted, Pakistan should be branded as a terror federation.
Yes, I'm coming to that. I'm trying to explain a dynamics. But initially, you see, till 9/11 attacks happened, Americans never ever, criticized Pakistan. They always supported Pakistan, even though civil society in America, they were against Islamic radicalism, because we suspect certain sections of American establishment themselves were involved. This Iran-Contra deal, you see, they were cocaine, they were selling those establishments, and that kind of establishment, they always supported Pakistani deep state. And because they have lobbying, and very unregulated lobbying takes place in United States of America, and Pakistanis who are flush with this organized crime fund, these dirty funds and dirty money, they are able to hoodwink sections of American establishment and sections of even British establishment. Very unfortunate. And there are now, we also believe that Chinese are their new backers, because they want some low-level lackeys who are willing to do the job, and they are international criminals in a way. So they are able to persuade, you can say, sections of American establishment, sections of Western establishment. They're able to influence them. And their proxies are, unfortunately, in Bangladesh. They have always found Bangladesh is a very strategic location. If they wanted to carry out drug trade and organized crime business from Southeast Asia, etc., Bangladesh would provide a very useful base. Let me tell you, India is a very large country. If there's a small pinpricks here and there, we can absorb and we can handle. But Bangladesh is a small country. Any small incident will have a far more disastrous consequences for people of Bangladesh than India. So our interest as Indians, we are, as a humanist civilization, oldest civilization, we take pride in this. Our interest is stable, peaceful, prosperous Bangladesh, where Bengalis are working and they are enjoying their life. They are going to their homes. Every child gets a very happy childhood, good food, good roof on the head, good this thing. So we will be very happy with that. But let me tell you, Pakistani military establishment has denied this thing to their own children, to their own people, because they are so bloodthirsty. You see that they have not considered their own people also as their own, but they have a very powerful worldwide network. And unfortunately, here, Bangladesh has to stand up very firmly. You have to take this narrative to the people. And you have to also be with India to play this thing that, look, everything is fine, but this criminalized deep state of Pakistan has to be completely dismantled. They had, the kind of, when India, Pakistan got divided, 35 per more than 1/3 of army went to Pakistan. They had an oversized army. There was no nationalism. Someone, a Pakistani was telling about Jinnah. He said that, look, when Mahatma Gandhi went to jail, he wrote 36 books. Jawaharlal Nehru ji wrote 11 books when he was in jail, and these many years he went to jail. Maulana Abul Kalam Azad, India's first education minister, he was in jail for a long time, and he also wrote large number of books. He said Mr. Jinnah did not go to jail even for 1 hour. So he was clearly a British stooge. He was clearly a British stooge. He said he did not write even a letter to editor. These are not my words. These are words of a Pakistani. He had zero vision. And this man with zero vision and a cannibalistic kind of instinct was brought in by Britishers to do what? Very often I say that Pakistan was invented like a cancer to destroy this subcontinent. This 1/4 of mankind, they are enemies of that, and they are hiding in the name of Islam, because Islam does not teach that you kill, loot, murder. Some Arab values, pre-Islamic Arab values have crept into Islamic practices. Some pre-Islamic Turkic values have kept into Islamic practices. These did not arise with Islam. Otherwise, in Saudi Arabia, people were called as tournament species, that they had n number of wives. So Holy Prophet of Islam said, no, maximum 4, and these are conditions. These were highly progressive in those contexts. Do not loot, do not do this thing. But, because of parochialism and tribalism, a lot of those values got into Islamic practices that they pass on in the name of Islam. And Pakistanis have perverted Islam also. They are, as you said, real shame, real cancer. And somehow West has been promoting it for a long time. Now our neighbor China has been promoting it, because they can do a lot of dirty and indefensible work, which even these powers are not willing to do. So that is why we have to be very careful with West also, with China also, and others, to see that, this cancer is checked, because later on this cancer can impact anyone. If they could hide Osama bin Laden, imagine, could they be friends of even United States of America? They were hiding Osama bin Laden for so many years. So we have to confront West, this thing. And also, I would say, secondly, I would say, that everything is fine. I have also written, why India should carry out an innovation in democracy. I would also say Bangladesh needs serious reform in its police and judicial institutions also. And if there's a possibility, I shall be very happy to extend my assistance pro bono. Without anything, I shall render my services without any expenditure, so that, we can institute a highly efficient police force and judicial system where people are protected, where, our police officers of Bangladesh, they can anticipate a crime before it happens. And those police officers who are able to take this kind of initiative, and they're able to render high quality services, they are also trained to be better leaders. And, we can ensure that we can completely wipe out scourge of radicalism and terrorism from that part of the world. It is far easier to do it in Bangladesh, because it's a small country. And right now you have a very popular leader at the helm. It is difficult to do so in India. So I think we have to carry out an innovation as well to face this all-round challenges, and simply diplomatic pressure is not going to be effective.
Mr. Ojha, my last question is, Pakistan has been betrayed with the US under the disguise of combating terrorism. And we know Pakistan has already become a bankrupt nation, possibly a failed nation. On the other hand, Bangladesh is prospering. Bangladesh is prospering under the leadership of Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. And India is prospering under the leadership of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, in 2024, Bangladesh and India, both of us
yes.
we have elections, general elections, and Pakistan, with the help of their Western masters, I have been saying that Pakistan is a concubine of the American masters. Anyway, so don't you think that this is a crucial situation when 2024 we both of the friendly countries, Bangladesh and India, have general election? It is our common responsibility to combat any conspiracy of Pakistan and their masters, including the United States.
Their masters and their proxies as well. And there are a lot of proxies are there in Bangladesh. And that is why I say that, little unfortunate that these police reforms and judicial reforms that I've been talking about, these should have been brought into Bangladesh 5, 6, or 10 years back. Unfortunately, even now it's not too late. People do not have an idea because professors don't know, politicians don't know, insiders also. Very often we assessed at one point of time as impartial observer that sections in Bangladesh army or Bangladesh security forces were also influenced by Pakistan, isn't it? A good number of them, not all. Sections were very much influenced by.
You mean our security forces and army are influenced by Pakistan?
No, not all, but very small sections who are very small minority, you can say, insignificant minority, quietly. Yeah, yes, a fraction of them are influenced because, and there was always an apprehension. And reason was that, as I said, when you are involved in organized crime, you have so much of slush fund, dirty fund, you can buy over anyone. So good number of people, you politicians, why do we admire Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, that she has wiped out those sections of these politicians, etc., who were suspected to be proxies of Pakistan. So these proxies you have to tackle very carefully. And they are violent. And as I said, they are funded by Pakistan. They are having access to an international crime network. And they're very dangerous. Ordinary people can't fight it. So within that, they also try to influence people in police, etc. And the problem is not only in Bangladesh, even in India, even under Narendra Modi government, Honorable Narendra Modi's government also, there are sections of our police and security people who are involved in crime, etc. very quietly, very secretly. So they are there because so much of fund is available. So directly, indirectly, something happens. So not to be surprised about, but to be careful about this and deal with it. So that is why I would say that, we need, apart from, diplomatic pressure, etc., we need to carry out this reform so that, these forces, these proxies are contained, they are checked so that they are not able to unleash street violence, they are not able to disturb a constitutional government. So this is where we have to go forward. And certainly, I 100% agree with you. We have to put pressure on the West, not only to see that they don't support Pakistan, but also to see that they reform their own institutions. This unregulated lobbying, this influence of drug money or dirty money, etc., in their establishment, this has to be curtailed. So we have to build pressure on them that, look, we need probity in your institutions also. Your policy in South Asia or etc. cannot be influenced by this kind of dirty money and Islamist propaganda, because this is neither in your interest nor in our interest.
Sir, I want to raise here one very important question. Recently, the please. Rogue, I repeat, the rogue BBC, which is, in my opinion, which has already emerged into Islamist propaganda box. It has made notorious attempt of defaming Indian Prime Minister Mr. Narendra Modi, and on the other hand, the Qatari terror broadcast network Al Jazeera, it has been consistently conspiring against our Prime Minister, Bangladesh Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. So we have been facing international conspiracy, both India and Bangladesh, because we have patriotic governments. So being an Indian and being a senior official and a Bangladeshi, it's my last question. What do you suggest? What Bangladesh and India should do to confront such kind of conspiracy against a government in India and Bangladesh, which is genuinely patriotic, which has been working for the good of the people, and it is facing international conspiracy?
I think we have to do two things. Firstly, domestically, we have to, as I said, carry out serious restructuring and innovation in governance and reform in governance so that our comprehensive national power is increased. And look, conflict is not going to be in anyone's interest. And Bangladesh and India have, in terms of national security, zero area of conflict. When there was, exchange of these enclaves, Bangladesh and India was far more generous. It conceded far more territory to Bangladesh and was very much accommodated. So I have attended international seminars and conferences on this thing, and even Western impartial observers have been praising the stand of India, that India never bullied Bangladesh, never pressured Bangladesh, and Bangladesh is very privileged to have a neighbor like India. Had it been China, he said they would have gobbled it up by this time through their salami slicing practice. So we have to see, that these vested interests, etc., these are kept in check locally, as I said, and we have to work together. And this working together, as I said, innovation in governance, so that per individual, per capita output of our citizens is enhanced many times. They get basic facilities and improvement in our regulatory capacity. So these are things which are required to domestically bolster ourselves, maintaining peace, maintaining tranquility, ensuring that our population does not drift to crime, ensuring that our population is engaged in productive work, and to carry out reforms for that purpose, for whatever this thing that is required. Secondly, we also have to build pressure on the West. And thirdly, if you see, we have to realize that even after colonialism has ended, racism remains a fact of life. It's good that, certain countries like whether Britain or America, they give opportunity to some of our citizens to go there, adopt it as their home. Perfectly all right. But most of our high quality labor we are exporting over there, our manpower is going to those countries and contributing to prosperity of that country, whether it's United States of America or Europe. We have to create conditions at home where, our per capita income, our social pace, everything improves multiple times. And this is where I would say, we have to co-opt people, whosoever, wheresoever they are, to see how we can improve our democracy, how we can improve our governance. And secondly, if we bring worldwide pressure on organized crime, this thing will ease out. Let me tell you, even few decades earlier, we knew that these Pakistanis, etc., they had penetrated BBC. BBC as an institution may have credibility, but these people have been virtually vitiating everything. You see this thing, whatever happened, this documentary which has come in 2023 for something which happened 21 years back. Look, whatever is there, you castigate our institutions, let our institutions take a stop. We have to improve our institutions and their credibility to such an extent that this is not required. We definitely have an institutional deficiency, that our police, etc., were not able to prevent Godra, not able to prevent this thing. But why do you want to wreck up something that happened so many years back? And their idiotic foreign minister, I must use this word because I cannot find a better word for such Pakistanis. This his father was Mr. 10%, a very known broker type of character, Zardari's son. He uses very offensive words against our prime minister. I may not have used this expression, but he had the audacity to refer our prime minister in such denigrating terms. So this is a shameless, utterly shameless entity, this thing called Pakistan. And he used the right word. Once I had used a few years back on an Indian channel, the same thing. It's a concubine of international criminals. I wouldn't say United States is a very civilized country. China has a long history, but there are perverse lot within these, and Pakistanis have been willing to do business with anyone for their own gains. So we have to isolate, these organized criminals globally and bolster democracy at home.
Dr.
This would be my suggestion.
Dr. Jitendra Kumar Ojha, our sincere hope that people like you and newspaper like us we play a role in unison in further strengthening existing relations between India and Bangladesh, and we unitedly confront all international conspiracies against Bangladesh and India, and we will also confront hostilities of a rogue nation, a failed nation like Pakistan, because we are a sovereign nation. India is a sovereign nation,
civilized nation, and a civilized nation.
Thank you, civilized nation. And we and India, we are together. We shall remain together, and we shall fight together. We shall prosper together, and we shall live together. Thank you very much, Dr. Jitendra Ojha, for
Thank
your
you.
very precious time, and hope and the near future will be again coming back to you with future interview.
Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to interact with my Bengali brothers and sisters. Thank you.
Now we can say something in Bangla if you want.
না খুবই ভালো লাগলো। আমার এখনো ঢাকাতে অনেক বন্ধুরা আছে, এসে খুবই আমাকে ভালো লেগেছে। প্রথমবার এটা আমি কোনো বাংলাদেশ চ্যানেলে এসেছি, আর আশা করি যে এই ব্রিজটা আমরা অনেক আগে থেকে রয়েছে, কিন্তু এই ব্রিজটা আমরা আরো স্ট্রং করবো।
ঢাকার বন্ধুরা আপনাকে
বেঙ্গল অন বোথ সাইড।
ঢাকার বন্ধুরা আপনাকে পদ্মার ইলিশ খাওয়ার জন্য নেমন্তন্ন করবে, এটা আমি নিশ্চিত।
না আমি খেয়েছি, আমি পেয়েছি
আবার খাবেন,
কয়েকবার আমার কাছে এসে।
বারবার খাবেন।
থ্যাংক ইউ সো মাচ। নিশ্চয় নিশ্চয়, নমস্কার।